Stand this morning, and I'm going to take a saying from the More Women Conference this weekend, which was, God has created every one of us with purpose. And He's also put a power inside of us to accomplish everything He's called us to do. He's also given us a peace that surpasseth all understanding. But we've got to understand this morning that the enemy is going to try to rob you of your purpose. He's going to try to rob you of your power. And he's going to try to rob you of your peace. And he's not going to come at you with a big old spear. And he's not going to come at you with a bow and arrow, with arrows that are ready to fling into you. No, it's going to be little words that are going to be spoken into your spirit that's going to begin to change the way that you think, and change the way that you talk, and change the way that you see what God's doing in your life. But God's telling someone this morning, you've got to quench the fiery darts of the enemy. You've got to stand up and understand that even though He says you have no purpose, you are a child filled with purpose. And even though He says you may be weak, you look at Him and say, when I am weak, I am strong. And then you look at Him when He says you have no peace and I'll wreck your world. That's when you look at the enemy and you say, you may come in one way, but the God I serve is getting ready to dispatch you 7 different ways. For no foe can come against me and destroy me, because I am loved and I am protected by the mighty hand of God. God is wanting us to understand as He begins to speak over us. We've been talking about the power of the tongue. I want you to listen to the power of God's tongue. God's tongue ushers out these words and says, you are chosen. God's tongue says, you're royalty. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what the bank account says. God says, you're royalty. God says, you're my special possession. He says, even when you're weak, I'm there to make you strong, not by your might and not by your power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. He's here to tell someone this morning that there's nothing that can separate you from His love. I don't know what's been spoken over you in the years past, or maybe last night, but God's saying those words that have been spoken over you cannot separate you from my love. He goes on further and says, you are my child in whom I am proud of. He says, you're Jesus' friend, and you're the place where God desires to reside. Now think about that. Think about that. The enemy will tell you that you'll never be and you never can. But the Bible tells us that God's Spirit is desiring to reside within you, the temple of the living God. It goes a little bit further and it says, not only does His Spirit want to reside there, He says that you're an incredible work of art, and that you're totally and completely forgiven and restored, and that you're a new creature in Him. Goes a little bit further and says, you're the light of the world. You're the salt of the world. You're loved and accepted with unconditional love that is non-manipulating. You're the apple of His eye. You're the jewels that's in His crown. You're called and you're anointed, and you're full of purpose and given talent. God loved you so much this morning that He gave everything He was, everything He had, just so He could be in relationship with you. In spite of who you are, in spite of where you came from, in spite of the circumstance you're dealing with, He said, I've given it all to you. No matter what the enemy says, no matter the words that he speaks over you to make you doubt who you are and to doubt what you have the ability to do. But God said, I loved you so much that I gave everything I have just to be in relationship with you. The power of the tongue. We have to replace everything that has been said, everything that we speak, with what thus saith the Lord.